Hello, this is the Monotone Centrist. The Kyle Rittenhouse case, and the verdict finally came in. It's like almost 4 days before the verdict came in. And initially, I thought he might have been guilty for killing Rosenbaum because there was a lot of information I didn't know about it, a lot of footage I didn't know about, and I kind of fell into the whole he crossed state lines with the rifle kind of tagline that a lot of people are doing, which isn't illegal, by the way. And even if it was, that doesn't, forfeit his right to self-defense. And even quote unquote pointing at a weapon at someone does not provoke someone enough to come at you and trying to disarm you. I think that was an argument they tried to do. And I watched the video. I'll link it into the description of why I kind of changed my mind on it. He was a defense lawyer, and he explained it rather well. And for a while, I didn't think he was going to be found innocent, regardless if I thought he was. Um, Especially with the Rosenbaum, I could see that going either way because he was unarmed. He was coming at him in a very aggressive way. Don't get me wrong. And I didn't know he tried to grab onto his rifle, and I guess there's some gunpowder residue on his hands and stuff that does prove that he was trying to grab at his gun. So that really reversed my initial thoughts. I won't go into this too far because I was supposed to talk with somebody about this as a special guest. I'm not too sure if that's going to still happen. I hope it does. This was going to be one of the topics, so I don't want to get too into the whole thing, but I was a little bit surprised on all accounts he was acquitted. And I don't know, maybe I was just a little bit cynical, and I think it was, politicized quite a bit. And a lot of people who thought he was guilty um, say he's just murdered these people and he just went there to shoot people, which there's no evidence to back that claim. And if you look all of the footage that was put together, you can see that is a pretty clear self-defense argument here. And remember, it's without a shadow of a doubt. So if there's doubt here, then he can't be convicted. He cannot be tried against for this. Even if he does admit he killed these people on purpose, he cannot be retried because of double jeopardy. So this pretty much ends this thing. I kind of expect him to go on some news stations and maybe earn some a little bit more money from this for interviews, but we'll see if that's the case. Maybe he won't do any of that. Maybe a couple of years down the line, we might see him do that, if at all. I don't care if he does or not. I didn't really care if he was found innocent or guilty. I would rather see him seen, not guilty because I think that was a very strong defense of self-defense arguments there, at least in my opinion. A lot of people this just shows you a lot of people don't know the laws and just kind of fall for things that people say is against the law when it really isn't there. And a lot of people are claiming him to be a white supremacist, even though there's no real evidence of that. I remember he posed with somebody, I can't remember who it was, and he had the OK sign. A lot of people think that's racist. Please stop with the OK sign and racism, and that's your sign of you're a white supremacist because it's supposed to signify white power or something like that. I think that's ridiculous. I have another video up on this channel giving my opinions on that. But overall, I was a little bit surprised he got acquitted. I thought because it was so political and a lot of people thought he was guilty that it would come to a guilty verdict, but it did not. I can't say I'm like excited or happy. I'm glad he was found not guilty because this does seem like a self-defense argument here, and also that was very important to anyone else who was in the same situation as Kyle if they would use lethal force. this trial could be used as an example. And for that, I'm glad because I think it was not really much for the Second Amendment or anything like that, but just purely self-defense. Where is that line? When can you do it? Is it okay to do it in this particular situation? And it's just in my opinion, I thought it was perfectly valid, but it seemed to be pretty split. A lot of people were misinformed about a lot of stuff that happened during the whole trial. Um, Footage. I don't know where the whole state lines came from. He did cross state lines. That's not disputed here. It's just a 15-minute drive. You act like he drove like 10 hours to get there. I think Goose Cross drove like a couple hours himself, and Kyle only drove 15 minutes. So a lot of people believe he just provoked the whole situation by bringing his gun there, which a lot of people were armed there too. So, or the biggest argument is like he shouldn't have been there. Well, okay, true, but no one should have been there, and that kind of logic could be used against Rosenbaum and Gruskos and that other guy. I can't fucking remember his name for the life of me. Uh, so all in all, I didn't really have too much of a horse in the race thing. I just I don't believe he's a hero. A lot of people are calling him a hero. I just believe he was somebody who's just defending himself to his best ability there. I don't fall for the whole hero scenario. As hope, I just look at it as like this is a scenario like if anyone was put in the position he was put in, hopefully would do the same thing and not get convicted as well. That's basically how I looked at it. I think the whole thing is overblown with the whole he's a hero situation. I don't care what the other people's records are. That is really, I don't really care. I cared about if he defended himself lawfully or not. And that's what it came down to, in my opinion. And I know a lot of people are not going to agree with it, but he was um, judged by his peers, and the judgment was ruled not guilty. And we should at least try to respect that ruling as best as possible. Thank you for listening. Right, comment, subscribe.